And we are live in five, four, three, two, one. Greetings and salutations, Wayfarer. Welcome once again to a live transmission from deep within the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, Twilight's own Old Peking. I am your well wisher for the hour, Frederick Francis Lunas Aristaeus of the OTA. Please feel free to join me on the 100-day magical challenge, Pathways of Magic, as we go up the tree of life and discover our potentialities to do good magic. You can find out more about it at www.imnotacriminal.com/Frank Monday. Make sure y'all hit the like button, leave a comment on the video, subscribe, maybe share the video out. It's up to you. Let's go ahead and get started with the adoration of Abraxas. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and always shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to guide and protect us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere, and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us those things which we must know for the completion of the great work and the glory of thine ineffable name, Adonai. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. All right, good magic. I am going to check the feedback loop on my YouTube here to make sure that we are broadcasting clearly. I will set the setting up button and see if it works. Give me a second. All right. Sounds like the feedback loop is pretty good. So let me go ahead and continue here then. Nice. Okay, that'll work. Here we are here. Guys, we're pushing to a thousand subs. We really need to get that done. So anybody and everybody, if you're at all have any interest in the channel and you've participated in various things and you're interested in promoting the channel any way, in all ways at all, make sure you do that. Let's get it up to 100,000. Yeah, nice. Let's get it up to 1,000 subs. I'd also like you to consider to join the Discord. I can chat with you more there behind the scenes, and we can interact that way. In addition to that, I want to cover this here. Why do we do it? Asks the Aeon of the prophet, right? The prophet of the Aeon. It's also dark and just it's just horse shit a lot of the times, right? Day in and day out. And equipped, no new horror can be more terrible than the daily torture of the commonplace. Husking grain, chopping vegetables, preparing food, cleaning house, doing laborious tasks, engaging in everyday workaday things. It can just be mind numbing. No new horror can be more terrible than the daily torture of the commonplace. And that's what we have to break through. We've got to get out of that mindset. We've got to break through the daily torture of the commonplace. And sometimes, somewhere, there's an individual broadcasting from beyond the bamboo firewall, out of a twilight zone where time shift from the past, present, and into the future. And mysterious things do happen, my friends, because we're all interested in the future. And the future is where we will all soon find ourselves. I've come up with a very easy solution to doing magic. Use the simple method of ask. A-S-K. Ask and you shall receive. S. Seek and ye shall find. K. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. So we see a basic equation of expansion of an acronym. This is powerful magic that was written in the Bible. It was told to you that all you need do to receive a transmission directly from God is to ask. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it will be opened unto you. So that's my simple formula for getting it done. Just ask. All right? All you had to do was ask. And so with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask each and every one of you, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, subscribe, go over to buymeacoffee.com/Frank Money. And if nothing else, just look at one of my posts there, hit the thumbs up on it, and leave a little something in the tip jar, man. That'll really put the lead in my pencil. It'll put the pep in my step, to be sure. And it may take this vast kingdom of understanding to the next level. All right, so make sure you get it done. And let's get into today's lesson, as it were. Check. Make sure it's queued up. I do believe it is. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. Oh, okay, it's in that direction. The opposite direction to what I expected. That's okay, though. Because here we are, laying in the tomb, deep in our coffins, covered with fresh earth, clawing at the underbelly of the lid, and wishing we had not been buried alive by life. Because you want to go forward, right? You want to be empowered to go forward. So here we go. We got to project out of the coffin, out of the cavern. Projection means the sending, forcing, compelling of the astral form or double and soul symbol to appear wherever the will may command through the three principles of formulation. There's a lot in that single paragraph. Sending, forcing, compelling. You can send. If it doesn't work at first, you must force. And if forcing doesn't work, you must compel your astral form. Attraction is the exercise of the same power in the opposite direction to compel the apparition of another wherever the neophyte has sufficient steady will force. This is the volantia, the volantic principle, the E, the intention. Wherever the neophyte has sufficient steady E to decree his presence, he may compel the appearance of whatever phantom or intelligence he chooses, and may act with enormous force upon whom he desires. This is real magic here. And you can see from even these 2 paragraphs, we're just 2 paragraphs in, that he who hath understanding shall reckon the number of the beast. And you're going to know it, and it's going to push you forward, and it's going to bring you there. He may compel the appearance of whatever phantom or intelligence he chooses. Observe. Formulation. Formulation can be excited from 2 planes. First, the pure intellect, cold and joyless, which is its negative force or plane. So we see first that the intellect, cold and joyless, cold is the yin aspect, the feminine aspect of the ideation. And so as a result, it will suck in, it will pull in, it will draw to it more potent, agitated forces and movement. Second, from the heart, the soul emotion or love plane, which is its positive point of action. So we can clearly see this almost always in natural law between the man and the woman. The woman disinterested, cold, without movement, until the man excited, agitated, aggressive, initiates interaction. Once that action is initiated, right? See, the man's problem is oftentimes with the fuel and fire. It's insufficient to create a flame that can bring the water to boil. Let's continue. Execution is always masculine, positive, ordering, commanding, electric, of the brain alone. Reception requires instantaneous transition from the masculine brain to the tender, soft, loving, emotional side of nature. Woman is the receptive, and man is the executive force. Now, pause for just a second, readers aside. That's all there is. There are only 2 primary forces in this plane: heaven and earth, sun and moon, man and woman, dark and light, up and down, left and right. These are the primary parameters that we have to operate within. You try to go beyond that with this newfangled understanding, and it's not essential magic. It doesn't work. It's not applicable to natural law. Woman is receptive, and man is the executive force. He imparts, she receives. So also the intellect of man acts on imperative principles, her love on receptive ones. This is the law. Love is the law. All good works begin and end with devout aspirations and posing to receive the boon craved, while desires of an opposite nature begin with and end on opposite principles. In all matters connected with the punishment of wrong, the protection of the weak, and imparting power, health, and prosperity to others, execution terminates the formula invariably. In actual practice, the neophyte must first remember, O neophyte, that the party or person to be frustrated must be present either in person or apparitional presence, which latter can be achieved by the process of formulation. This force must be continued until the apparitional image or images stand out clearly defined before the operator. Then think that which is required to be done and formulated it just as clearly. At this point, the executive force must be projected on its orbit, it must never be forgotten or overlooked that this executive force is to be retained within the grasp of the operator during the climax of the formulative moment and never projected until the soul is full to overflowing, or it will fail to reach its object and, having traversed its orbit, recoil upon the operator and produce inharmony. There's a lot to unpack there, so we need to take it piece by piece. First off, let me All right. So the first thing we need to look at with great clarity is the differentiation between the woman and the man and how they go about practicing magical projection. A woman receives and thus pulls in. She has a negative force and can attract. The masculine principle has an outward going force and has to seek out and penetrate. The big difference between the Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor's system here and that of Lunar Light Entertainment is that, and with the Lima as well, is that at the decretic moment they will cast off or ejaculate the force that has been assimilated. In our internal system, that cannot be done, not within the 100-day challenge. And in general practice, according to our prohibitions, a neophyte shouldn't even engage in sexual magic until they've reached the age of 25 years old for men and 22 years old for women. Because for the women, the flower has not blossomed until that age and should not be profaned. And for the man, he doesn't have the strength. He doesn't have the physical strength, the muscular strength, the tendon strength, or the bone density to engage in flowery battle. And thus, these prohibitions are very strong, and they should be observed. So from 25 for men to 45, it's the great summer of life. It actually starts at 30 and lasts until 60. The four transitions of the human individual are 0 to 30 for the spring of life, to 60 for the summer, to 90 for the autumn, and up to 120 for the winter. So this is the extent at this time and in very recent times of a human being's longevity. And if you follow natural law, you can preserve this longevity and reach well into your centurion years. If not, if you violate them, then you'll waste the essential energy. And when you waste it while you're young, it can be very, very damaging throughout your entire life. I would just finish this short lesson with thinking that generating the apparitional images. So if you have a love affair, or you would like to create some event or situation or condition in your life, then you need to focus enough energy in the formulation process that you can literally see these images standing out clearly defined before you in all their glory. Think about the 7 types of imagery. The visual, define it. Space, dimension, size, color, depth, texture, all of that. Move on to the next one. What are its olfactory, auditory sensations? How does it sound? What is the resonance, its vibration, its movement within that? When its movement occurs, what type of auditory sensations does it create? The click-clacking on the cobblestone outside of one's window as you sit in meditation. The cold winter winds blowing through the trees. Move on to olfactory, gustatory, and tactile, right? What do these movements stir up in terms of scent? What can you smell? The jasmine, the night blooming jasmine, the smell of mugwort burning, incense, tobacco, fresh meat roasting on an open fire, roses blooming in the garden, fresh turned earth, salt air splashing against the rocks, a lemon sliced open, pineapple coming to maturity. Taste it, smell it, touch it, feel it, rough, soft, whatever it is, include all of that type of imagery. Then you project this into your orbit. It shouldn't be forgotten or overlooked that the executive force is to be retained during the climax of the formulative moment and never projected until the soul is full to overflowing. Here's the thing too, it should never be projected. It should be sublimated and returned to its origin and circulated within the body over and over again. This is the whole idea of sacrificing oneself from the world, retiring from the world, absolution, abstinence, to be a renunciant, an ascetic, solemnly impress upon each and every moment the fearful dangers that will overtake you should you ever attempt to use these powers for evil purposes or for the injury of others. Be warned, and rather suffer injustice than retaliation with vengeance. Remember, O neophyte, goodness alone is power, silence is strength, will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. Until we meet again, keep doing good magic ad astra per aspera into the abodes of the future.